Welcome, modern-day mystics, fellow truth seekers. James and Justin back again with another reaction video, and in this one we're going to take a look at another Indian monk video, and this one is all about Advaita Vedanta. I hope I'm saying that right. This gets talked a lot about in spiritual community, and I want to know a little bit more about it, so we're going to take a look. More non-duality.
Advaita Vedanta is a school of Hindu philosophy that teaches non-duality or the absence of a separation between the subject and object. The philosophy is based on the Upanishads and commentaries by eminent scholars like Gaudapad and
it is hidden in every religion.
Yeah.
Some nugget at least about non-duality.
Yeah, it was instantly what came to my mind. It was like, it's been around forever.
And it's like, you know, it's like Neo in the Matrix. It's like one kernel within everything that's like, at least sometimes it's a bigger thing. Some religions, it's the whole point of it. But seems like in almost every religion it's hinted at.
Yeah.
Or mentioned or talked about at some point.
and Sri Adi Shankaracharya. Dvaita means duality, while Advait means non-duality. In simpler terms, Advait means the absence of separation between the subject and object. We experience duality in our everyday lives, but in deep sleep, only non-duality. Shankaracharya is the most important teacher of the Advait school of Vedanta. His commentaries to the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, and the Brahma Sutra are definitive works on Advait thoughts. However, it should be remembered that all Vedanta philosophy really goes back to the Upanishads, and Shankaracharya is considered a preeminent teacher who continued the Upanishadic tradition. The title of Shankaracharya is given to the heads of numerous Advait institutions in India today.
I noticed he's got the lines on his head. They all do, like Shiva. Right? I forget the symbology of why the three lines. So please, someone out there who in the comments.
Oh yeah, I was still looking at the red part, but
yeah. The white lines. Please, someone tell us what the lines represent.
And that hand. If anybody knows why sometimes their hands are like this or their hands are like this.
Yeah.
A reminder of what that is.
Yes, please.
They have earned this respect and fame through their hard work and dedication. In Hinduism, Brahman connotes the highest universal principle, the ultimate reality in the universe. Please do not confuse Lord Brahma or Brahman Varn with Brahman. Here we are talking about Brahman, meaning the infinite consciousness is the only reality, according to Advait school of thought. All else is an appearance, projection, formation, or just an illusion. Snakes are often used to describe the illusionary nature of reality. Just like when you see a snake in a rope when it's lying in the darkness, the snake is an illusion and the rope is the reality. The word
Interesting. Just side note there. Snake represents the illusion, while in many religions and traditions it represents evil and the bringer of sin, right? And what if it's an illusion? The bringer of sin, the evil, is the illusion.
Oh, I get all these videos jumbled up, but it reminds me of a video, one of the ones we did this week, that was talking about how I think it was the Muslim one, talking about how the shaitans promise illusions and stuff like that. And that goes along with what the ego is all about. Like, I promise you I'll bring masses to your, to bow to you, and I'll promise you riches, and I promise you love, and I promise you all that. That's like what the ego's up to, right? And this maybe the snake's kind of representative of the ego there, and they just get that separation going where you can see the ego or the devil or shaitan or whatever you want to call it, see it for what it is. It's divisive, trickster, illusionary self. You know what I mean?
world appears in the mind over the self. The school believes that the individual self, Atman, does not have a separate existence. It is only a projection or reflection of Brahman in each being. Jeev is a deluded soul by egoism, desire, and other impurities, which leads to experiencing duality and separation. Because of this, each being is bound to the cycle of births, deaths, and rebirths, and the laws of karma until liberation is achieved. Brahman is the ultimate reality. But the world in which we live is an illusion, like a mirage. It appears in our consciousness because of the activity of the mind and the senses. But since we totally depend upon them, we do not perceive Brahman or consciousness, the ultimate reality which is hidden in all of us. When they are fully withdrawn and made silent through detachment, purity and renunciation, one can see the Supreme Self hidden in all and attain liberation. There is a lot of confusion surrounding knowledge and what
Liberation.
Yeah.
Liberation.
The
you
quest.
know? And it's funny, like I've heard enlightened people talk about like words just are here, you know, there's nothing really to say, but behold, words.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you think about it for a sec. If there was no ego, if there was no aspect of you that was like, you know, fundamentally selfish,
Yeah.
if that was gone, what kind of it reminds me of stories of Buddha, like feeding himself to a tiger, or Jesus dying on the cross,
Yeah.
or, you know, I'm sure there's some figures within every religion that, you know, that's another thing you could let us know about, is sacrificial, communal, concerned with all other than, you know, some overly selfish version of providing for one's own self.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing to be like, listen, I can't be a neglective son of a gun, and you know, what good is it if I give myself over to gluttony? You know, that's one thing. But it's another thing to get real with yourself about like, wait a minute, my fundamental nature is like competitive and selfish. And what happens when you diminish that? And you truly do become someone that's like, I don't care. I don't need to be in charge. I'll be of service.
Yeah.
I'll be of service to the community because, nobody's perfect, but I'm here to be part of all of it and take care of animals and, you know, and care about all of it.
Regardless of whether or not, you know, you get to, you know, experience universal consciousness, you're still doing good at least.
But what if that is universal consciousness?
Yeah.
What about just silencing that incessant voice that is really full of fear and concern that you're as good as you could be?
Yeah.
What if subduing that or silencing that, or at least getting it to reduce itself? You'd be like, oh, everything's all right.
Yeah.
You know, how about I just make things better for everybody? Like by being less selfish, by injecting less of my own ideas into things.
Yeah.
what is the right way to find salvation or ascertain the truth. In Advaita Vedanta, there are 3 different ways to gain knowledge proposed by Adi Shankaracharya. Paramarth, there is a reality that is metaphysically true and ontologically accurate. This is the state of experiencing that which is absolutely real and into which both other reality levels can be resolved. This is the highest reality. It can't be sublated or assimilated by any other. Vyavhar, which consists of empirical or pragmatic reality. It constantly changes over time, so it is empirically true at a given time and context, but not metaphysically true. It is our world of experience, the phenomenal world with which we are confronted every day when we are awake. It is the level at which living creatures or individual selves and Ishvara are true. Here, the material world is also true, but this is an incomplete reality. Pratibhasik, reality based on imagination alone. This is the level of experience in which the mind constructs its own reality. An example of Pratibhasik is the imaginary reality, such as the roaring of a lion, fabricated in dreams during one's sleep. Another example is the perception of a rope in the dark as being a snake. Light and darkness are 2 different realities that are both valid in their own contexts. John Grimm's uses the analogy of light and darkness to explain the Advaita doctrine of absolute and relative truth. In this analogy, light is the absolute reality and darkness is the relative reality. There is no absolute answer to this question. It depends on your perspective. From the sun's perspective, it doesn't rise or set. There is only light. But from our perspective on earth, we see the sun rise and set, experience darkness, and know that not all is light. Both perspectives are true in their own way. From the perspective of the sun, it neither rises nor sets. There is no darkness and all is light. From the point of view of a person on earth, the sun rises and sets. There is light and darkness. Not everything is light. There are relative shades of light and dark. Both are realities and valid truths given their perspectives. However, they are contradictory. What is true from one point of view, says Grimm's, is not true from another. For Advaita Vedanta, it does not.
Yeah. What's true from one perspective is not necessarily true from another perspective. It's kind of understanding that concept, that idea, I think is really useful for getting past a lot of our pettiness and the fights and the battles we have when we're trying to prove to an opposition that our way is the best way. Our way is
You could take that so far. It really, I feel like in some sense that idea of juxtaposition answers all things, like the simplest one I've thrown out there before is somebody that's suffering. And why do I suffer? Well, do you want to know what peace is? Yeah, maybe that's why, and why this and why that? Because it can only exist against its opposite.
Yeah.
And then so you can get real tricky with that. You can run experiments like, well, what's the opposite of a tree? And then work it out. You'll actually see that in some sense there's everything falls on some kind of a spectrum, with counter opposites to it.
Not means that there are two truths and two realities, but that the same reality and the same truth are explained or experienced from two different perspectives. There are different perspectives on what is true. For Advaita Vedanta, this does not mean that there are two truths and two realities, but that the same reality and the same truth are experienced from two different perspectives. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video.
Yeah, really good. I thought it was actually, this video was going to kind of like go more into the people that teach this and like the practices that they do around it. It's more, this video was really just all about the philosophy behind Advaita Vedanta. So, but still really good, good lesson for non-dualists out there.
Build your repertoire of understandings.
Yeah. So hopefully you guys liked our reaction on this video, and if you did, please don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, share this with a friend, and everybody, until next time, stay spiritual.